Yeah, I can, Zion. Can you remind me tomorrow, today, after the lesson, I'll send a link. I don't know. Okay, 1 second. You can flip the last one. So it's keep, change, flip, isn't it? So if I were to keep the first one, so x plus 3, x to the 7, x to the 3, and then flip the other one. Anyone do something like that? So at the bottom, you're going to have x to the... When I combine these two, what do I get? Oh yeah, you can do that. So x to the 6, no, x to the 5, and then x plus 6. And then on the top, x to the 7, x plus 3, and 5x plus 30. Right, let me go back a bit. Now, before I simplify this any further, is there anything that I can factorize from this? Can I factorize this? I can, right? 5x plus 30 gives us 5, open bracket, x plus 6. Okay, so I can do that as well. So x to the power of 7, x plus 3 times by 5, x plus 6, all over x to the 5 and x plus 6. So what can I cancel out? This with this with this to get x to the 2. So the answer is what? 5x to the power of 2, x to the 3. Anyone get that? Two mins. Rahim, did you read my comment in the chat? Didn't understand that answer, but I understand it now. Okay. Yeah, guys, so basically, the first thing I did was I times those two, and I got this. And then this, I flipped it, and I got this. Then literally put it on one line. After that, realize that you can actually factorize this. And then that becomes that. So I placed that here, the 5 and the x plus 6. And then the x to the 7 and the x to the 5 cancel out. The x and the 6, x plus 6 and x plus 6 cancel out, and 5 is left. So really, after everything's cancelled out, you just have this, this, and this. Can everyone look at the next question? A and B are similar cuboids. I want everyone to try this question, yeah? Every single person. Even if it's an I don't know. So A and B are similar cuboids. Surface area of A to surface area of B. Work out the volume A to B. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, that's the one. Zachary, you're trying out this last one at the end, yeah? A plus B. Thank you, Zachary, and thank you, Zeus. No worries. Have you seen something like this before? Is it familiar? Does it seem familiar, should I say? Okay. Rahim, can I go to the next page? Okay. Anyone else stuck on this? Got a few people that are stuck on it. Yes, you do, Josh. So I'm going to put this here. Alright, thank you for that. So we got two shapes, A and B. And they've given us information about surface area. And they've asked us about volume. And usually you'll get asked about length as well. So SA, so length, surface area or area, and volume. So it's usually area as well. Put a table like this. Okay, so they told us that the surface area is 9 to 25. How do I get from 9 to 25? Yes. So you basically, yeah, you do so you do 25 divided by 9, right? And that's what you times that by, right? So the scale factor will be 25 over 9. Now, if you were to, because you're working with area, you just basically square root this, and you get what? 5 over 3. So the scale factor for length will be 5 over 3. You square it for the surface area, and then you cube it for the volume. So for volume, it's going to be 125 over 3. Sorry, over 9. Sorry, 27. Does that make sense? Oh, it's a ratio. You don't need to know either of those, actually. I just realized. It's a ratio. So if you just square rooted each one, you'd get 3 and 5. And then for... I'm trying not to keep the chat open because there's too much pollution in the chat. And then 3 cubed is 27. 5 cubed is 125. Okay, I'm going to explain that one more time because my way wasn't very efficient in the beginning. So if we just run that back for a second. So if you had A and B, and then you had length, surface area or area, depending on what the question is, and volume. And then you fill in the information 9 and 25. Because it's a ratio, it's not the actual number. Yes, that's true. And I like my way. You know why? Because you can use it for any example. So let me just show you my way again, yeah? How do you go from 9 to 25? So you times by 25 over 9. Agreed? That's the scale factor. That's an area scale factor. So the scale factor for length would be the square root of that. Okay? So the square root of that would be times by 5 over 3. And then if I want to do volume, I just cube each one. So, sorry, I cube each of these. So it'll be 125 over 27. Is that understood, guys? So that would be 27, and that would be 125. Let's do one more like that. Okay, guys, let's look at this question here. So two pyramids are mathematically similar. It says pyramid A has a surface area of 20 centimeters squared. Right, we need to make this a bit bigger. So pyramid A has a surface area of 20 centimeters squared. Pyramid B has a surface area of 320 centimeters squared. Work out the height of pyramid B. So if we look here, can you see they're asking us for a length? So we can do our lav table. Length, area or surface area, volume. And then we've got shape A, shape B. Thank you, Hassan. Thank you, Zeus. So shape A, shape B. Let me know if you're working on this one, guys. So I'm just going to fill in the information. So pyramid A is 20. Thank you, Zeus. That's very productive. Okay, and then we've got the height. So we put the 2 in A. Okay, so what we don't need or have the volume. Yeah, I'm just showing what you do. So then when you do get a volume question, you don't panic and fall over. So guys, whenever you have a question like this, you just draw a lav table. Of course, if you're not being asked about volume, you don't need to fill it in because there's no values to fill it in anyways. Okay, so can you see what I'm doing here? And I want to make a third column, call it scale factor. Okay, guys, how do I go from 20 to 32? It's times by 16, right? Let me know if you're on the same page. So how do I go from 20 to 32? I times by 16. Agreed? Yes, no? Times by 16. Okay, so that scale factor, because it's an area, right? It's the scale factor squared. So 16 is the scale factor squared. So what's the scale factor? That 16 is the scale factor squared. So what's the scale factor? So SF is going to be the square root of 16, which is 4. Thank you, Jana. So so this got times by 16. So this is we're timesing by what? By 4, right? 2 times 4 is 8. Let me know in the chat if that makes sense. So if, let's say for example, the volume was 100, what would be the volume of B? Let's say the volume was 100, what would be the volume of B? Thank you, Orbison. In fact, let me put another color so you can see it. So that's times by 16. That's times by 4. Thank you, Ardion. Thank you, Zachariah. That making sense? So the scale factor for length is the scale factor. For area, we square the scale factor. For volume, we cube the scale factor. So it's times by 64. So we just times this number by 64. And we get 6,400 as the volume. Is that okay, guys? What I'm going to do, I'm just going to shift this up a little bit, make it a bit smaller. And the question says, Pyramid A has a weight of 800 grams. Both pyramids are made of the same material. Work out the weight of Pyramid B. Ooh, what kind of question is that? Interesting. Thank you, Josh. That's correct. Oh wait, hold on. What? Let me think. I'm thinking. Pyramid A has a weight of 800 grams. Both pyramids are made of the same material. Work out the weight. Pyramid B. That's what I'm thinking, guys. But I'm trying to see if there's a fault in that. Yeah, because it's not that, well, it's also because grams is to do with volume, isn't it? The mass is to do with the volume, the space inside. So I'm gonna agree with you guys on that one. Guys, what do you think B will be, knowing that we're working with volume? What does that even mean, man? Nah, I'm here. Yeah, I think you're right, Adrian. Because it's to do with the space inside the shape. So if I was to put volume right here, I mean mass right here, it's to do with volume, right? So it's going to be 800. So you just times by what? 64. So 5,100, what, 51,200 or 51.2 kg. Guys, can we just do one more? Because it's mass is to do with volume, isn't it? It's all the space inside the shape. So if the shape grows, it can accommodate more space for the mass. Did you get it? As opposed, yeah. So hopefully that makes sense. Let's try this one. This has got irregular shape. Last one on this topic. Guys, can everyone try it out? I think it would be a great opportunity for us to ensure that we know this topic well. Okay, so it says Mrs. Hampton is potting plants. She is using two mathematically similar pots. The smaller is 10 centimeters tall. The larger is 14 centimeters tall. She has 2 bags of soil, each containing 30 liters of soil. She has 2 bags of soil. Okay. With the first bag, Mrs. Hampton fills 20 small pots, using all of the soil in the bag. How many large pots can be filled completely using the second bag of soil? So who's setting up a table? Send. So who's setting up a table, a lab table? So we've got shape A, we've got shape B, and then LAV. Okay, sure. Okay, they're giving us some lengths, 10 and 14. So she has 2 bags of soil, each containing 30 liters. With the first bag, Mrs. Hampton fills 20 small pots. So what's 30 divided by 20? 1.5? So where am I going to put that information? I'm going to put that in area, volume, or L. Area, volume, or L. Where am I going to put that information? Okay, 1 second. I think I'm going to put it in volume as well. Anyone else? What do you guys think? Go on, guys. Come on. Just take a risk. Zia, what do you think? Suren, awesome. Where are you going to put it? Where are you going to put it? So they told us it's 1 point. So we know it's 1.5, so we put it in volume. I think it's going to be volume. How do I get from 10 to 1.4? Sorry, 14. It's times 1.4, right? Agreed? No, that's the thing. You just deal with it as area. Literally, if this just said surface area, we just do the same thing. You deal with it as just area. Don't get confused because you see mass, surface area. Do you know what you should look at? What's the units for surface area? cm squared, right? So just treat it like an area. So it'll be 1.4 squared if it was surface area or area. And for volume, yeah, exactly. And for volume, what do you do? 1.4 cubed, right? So remember, they've told us it's 1.5. Within the first bag, Mrs. Hampton fills 20 small pots using all of the soil. Okay, so how many large pots can be filled using the second bag of soil? So what's 1.5 times 1.4 cubed? So 1.4 times 1.4. We got 4.116. I got the same. 4.116. Okay, and now what do? We just do 30 divided by it, I think. Oh, now I know why you said 7. Suren, you're just on a solo cooking spree, bro. Right. Yeah. That's it. Thank you, Josh. That's exactly what you do. So you do 30 liters divided by 4.116, and that gives you 7.28. So it's 7, because you can't have 2.8, right? Because it says completely by the bag. Sad times, man. Sad times. Oh, not 7 centimeters, 7 bags. Hope you still got it right. Okay. Right, let's go. Let's do this. 3 equals 0, giving your answer in third form. Hassan, we'll come back to it on Saturday. Yeah? I feel like you got a good answer there, but I can't validate it right now. Right. Okay. So in third form. So what do you think they're asking us to do? Straight away, of the 3 ways to solve this, what do you think they're asking us? Which method do you think they're asking of us? Solve the inequality as well. So they've given us an inequality too. Stay back at the end. We'll go through it. Stay back at the end. We'll go through it. Okay, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? Thirds. They've asked us third form. What are we going to do? So who did quadratic formula? Yeah, probably quadratic formula. So that's pretty straightforward. You did complete the square. You can do complete the square as well. So x plus 3 squared minus 9 plus 3. For those who did quadratic formula, do you get the same answer? Square root of 6, so that's plus minus, and that's going to be minus 3, so that's the answer. And then it says solve the inequality. So when we draw our graph, where are the 2 points going to be, guys? So plus minus, minus 3. They're both going to be in the negative region, right? Because the square root of 6 is less than 3. Agreed? And it says it's less than 0. Who set up their inequality like this? It seems like it's between. Because it's a positive, it's positive, and it says less than, so it's going to be this part of the graph. So it's probably going to be between. Can't you use quadratic equation? That's when you solve it, you use quadratic equation, but you can also use completing the square. Did anyone else try that? No, you don't. I don't think you do. Guys, has anyone seen the most updated formula book? Do you get the formula, the quadratic formula? Do you? Okay, that's good, I guess. Here's a question for the group. Okay, shown as a cuboid with measurements in centimeters. Work out the surface area. Okay, sure. Zion, if you have any questions, just let me know on what they are, and I can include them. Okay, so we're showing as a cuboid. Guys, can everyone try this question? There's about 90% of us not responding right now. So who is working on this? Shown as a cuboid with measurements in centimeters. Work out the surface area. So what the surface area of the whole shape. So you don't need to. You just use your knowledge of sets. So to work out surface area, you just need the area of each section, right? So that first shape is going to be 5 root 3 times root 3, which is what? I know, Josh, I know. So what's that? 5 times 3? So who got 15 for that one? So there's 2 of them, right? There's one in the back. So 5 times, that's 2 of them, 15, so 30. And then what's the other side? So root 3 times 2 root 3. So 2 root 3 times root 3 is, so that's root 2, 2. So who got 2 root 6? But then you got to times that by 2 and get 4 root 6. And then you got the bottom and the top. So 2 root 2 times 5 root 2. 5 root 3, sorry. So this is this. And this is this. Do you just multiply them? Yeah, just multiply the roots. So what's that? 10 root 6? Who got 10 root 6? So we got to double that, 20 root 6. So we got 20 root 6. Then we've got 30. And then we've got 4 root 6. So the answer was 24 root 6 plus 30. Is that okay? Okay, guys, we've got 7 minutes left. Should we try that question one more time? I don't know. I'm a bit worried about it. I don't get how we got 30. Oh, we got 30 from doing this. So you know you got 5 root 3 and root 3. So the root 3 and the root 3 make 3. So what's 5 times 3? 15. And so we have 1 on this side and we have 1 on the back. They both make 30 altogether. Right, I'm going to construct this question because I don't have, I'm not able to bring this question to light on the actual printed version. So let me just get this up. 1 second. I feel like it might take a little longer than that. So it's a graph. And we have the numbers 0, 8, 14, and some unknown number here. Then we have 6, and we have 9. You guys watching this? And then this goes up to there. Then that goes to there. And then it goes down to some unknown ends. T6, that's point C. 14, 9, that's point B. 8, 9, that's point A. No, I put X there. I just put that as a reference to myself. And then 0, 0, obviously. That's speed. And that's time. Time in seconds. That's supposed to link with that, by the way. And that's supposed to link with that. The question says, here is a sketch of a speed time graph for part of a journey. The average speed from 0 to t was 7.2. So average 0 to t is 7.2 meters per second. Hold on, I'm trying to figure that myself. 1 second. Work out the value of t. Okay. We're supposed to work out a value of t, correct. So let's have a look, guys. What do you guys think? Have a look. Have a read. Yeah. So like distance is area under graph. The speed is 7.2 and speed distance time, and the time is unknown. Are we all on the same page? I don't know. It might come to that, Josh. Right. Okay. So the distance from here to here is 8. The distance from here to here is 9. So the area under here is 72 divided by 2, which is 36. We did that before. Nothing's changed. So 8 to 14 is 6. 6 times 9 is 54. Now we have a trapezium. So we need to work out a formula for the trapezium, right? Okay, so What are the two parallel sides? 9 and 6, right? So the two parallel sides are 9 and 6. These are what I'm talking about. 9 plus 6 times by the height, which is, if we want an expression for it, is 14 minus t minus 14. So t minus 14, and we times that by a half. What's 9 plus 6? $15, right? Okay, so 15 times by a half, 7.5. T minus 14. Okay. So we have that. So let's make a formula now for the whole distance. So we had, yeah, that's what I'm thinking of doing, Josh. So 36 plus 54 plus this thing here, 7.5 t. What's 14 times 7.5? 14 times, let me get a calculator out. 105. So minus 105. So if we simplify that, I know, but right now I am feeling weak. So 36 plus 54 minus 105. So 7.5 t minus 15. Okay, so that's that. Now that is the area under the curve, right? Okay, that's done. So now, if that's the distance, if we look here, they told us that the average speed is 7.2. So how do you work out distance using speed? Distance equals speed times time, right? If that's t, then d equals speed 7.2 times t. Yes, I think we're on the same wavelength there, Josh. 7.2 t. Now we'll just solve it to find t. So what's that? Bring that in. 0.3 t equals 15. So t equals 15 divided by 0.3. What's that then? 150 divided by 3. 50. So t is 50. Right? No, that's too easy. That doesn't make sense. No, that is it. It can't be anything else. How is this 5 marks? Oh, no, I can see why it's 5 marks. There's so many things involved. Guys, I'm sorry, man. I had a very slow moment earlier. Sorry, can I just tell you something, guys? There's a big learning curve here. And that is that you can never get too used to problem solving. Like, I've done a gazillion of these, and sometimes I still get like tripped up by a weird problem solving question. So try and practice as much as you can, but don't be too sort of bogged down if you don't. I know, but like when you think about it, it's just timesing and adding and dividing and stuff. It doesn't seem like there's much skills here which require 5 marks. Plus it was question 29 on the paper, which suggests it was the last question on the paper.